On this video, I want to tell you two things from the BBC documentary that SCOAN does not have answers for. Forget them answering what exactly this is about. But we recently just read the publication that came out where they are supposedly giving answers and so forth. And it looks like they are more interested in kind of dismissing things. Quite interesting that they highlight certain aspects. I heard one particular portion where someone was trying to explain, or they were trying to explain the child or the person who is said to be the child. That's number one that they will have to answer. And number two, it's another video that I want to show you right here. And the reason why I said they would have to answer these things is because, you see, you can fool people sometimes, but not all the time will you fool everyone. I don't know how they say it. If you are an English major, you want to correct me, you can go ahead in the comment section. It's the Rick Shiarity Show, the daily Christian commentary videos. If it's the first time over here, to be sure to check out some other videos that are down in the pinned comments. And so, yeah, on the channel, we mostly do 3 videos. Sometimes, and if I don't do 3 videos, I end up scrapping videos. So if you see 1, 2 videos, just know that there are videos that are being deleted and not being made. And so let's get back to our regular schedule. Right. The first thing that I want to highlight in that documentary, there is the part, I think it's in part 2, where they highlight the aspect of childbearing and how SCOAN wants to phrase itself as a place, a happy place, which loves the birth of kids. And then they highlight the person who is said allegedly to be the daughter of TB Joshua, right? Now, what is it? Now, someone might say, yeah, you can't prove that it's the child. No problem. That's not the thing that I mean to say that they would have to answer to. The thing that they would have to answer to is the guilt that the people that were in the church felt over what they had done. You see, that part you can't explain. You see, that one they can't run away from. That one, it's a thorn in their flesh, because you'll have to explain why these people felt so much guilt over what they've done. Now, some people say, they were just acting there. That's funny, because Paul Akomo has been saying that, speaking about these things of the beatings, the whatnot, all the way from 20 God knows what. I remember seeing the video that him and Pesola did. And if you listen to that, you will hear that the guilt was there then, when there was no BBC. So that's number one, that the SCOAN church would have to explain. You'll have to explain why. How do you account? If these things are just misty, they're just lying. All of them, they're just lying about everything. You'll have to answer. Why is it that the people that were in the church, Paul Akomo, who was there, how is it that they feel this level of guilt over whatever it is that happened between them and that child? You know, yeah, you might want to dismiss it. No, it's a child of another person. The church took the child in, blah, 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 blah. You can take on whatever you say. But explain for me the guilt that these people felt. Because there's something there that for me comes only from inhuman acts. When you take on inhuman acts, and now you have to reconcile. So the conviction is real. So that's number one. Point number 2, right? If we go back here, there is a video in part number 3, right? In part number 3, at 25 minutes, where this young lady is about to escape. And she's explaining and narrating her story. She recorded. Now remember, many people didn't have their phones and so forth. And by this time, she came with a phone and she says she wants to see TB Joshua. And she explained, she wanted to confront him and she wanted to face up with him on everything that had happened. And, in a moment of that entire document, of that part, she even had to run after this entire thing happened. But it is clear that they were at the SCOAN when this happened. But the other part that they would have to explain out of this, you see that part there, that message that just came up right now, because you see, that's the issue right there. That's the issue right there. The accusations were made then, okay? She said she wanted to see him, and she said certain things in front of them back then when there was no BBC, okay? And it's in the video, it's right there. And don't hold me. You can see it's very clear there is something that was happening there when he had, you can see right there. She said it while she was there, okay? And not only did she say this here, okay, there it is. She is in front of the gate of SCOAN, and this lady from Namibia, Jessica, I think if I remember, she then says, you know what? TB thought his world was coming to collapse when she came back. They saluted her for even coming back to confront him, and there she was. And she says it right there. When there was no BBC. You see, this is the thorn in the flesh. You see, this one, she's a thorn in the flesh. Yeah, and for those people that believe everybody, because he's your spiritual father, is innocent because he's your spiritual father. Not everyone is duped by that. He's not my spiritual father. My spiritual father is God in the heavens. The Bible says, call no man your father. Yes, I have no business with that. You see, this is a thorn in SCOAN's history. They can dismiss everything. But first they will have to explain, how do you answer to the guilt that those disciples, when they were talking about it, you can see the real. I'm not talking acting. There is terror when you are faced with your own actions and you realize, I was that person. Those disciples felt that at that moment. You will have to answer. SCOAN will have to tell us, why do you think they felt like that? Okay, not this PR stuff that you are pushing of articles that say they were not associated. That's not the point. They were there. We have footage. Leave that one. You'll have to tell us, why is it that they felt like that? Speaking about what they did to her, the child. Why would they incriminate themselves? Because they are not trying to show themselves innocent. They are showing that in a moment of vulnerability, of brainwash, this is what they became. From innocent people, they became this. Why that guilt? And also, why? When will they answer this one? What was this about? You see, when they brush around everything, no, all of this is lies. Which one? You see, there's a lot there. Which one is lies? Is it lies? Are they lying about their guilt over the things that happened or which they partook in? Or are they lying about this? Which one is the lie? Whenever you see a person dismiss everything, it's a telltale thing. So this is a reminder. This video is a reminder. We're not all stupid. Ne? Yes, just remember that. Sometimes because you are because we're not dumb, because we're not dumb, you then assume that is our state of mind. Because when you are brainwashed, touch not my anointed, you think we are all like that. Some of us actually have scripture. God is above all. How do you answer? What is this about? What was this about? What was this video confrontation about? They will have to answer this one, not the statements that they're bringing out. You see? So for everybody else that's dismissing everything, no problem. You see that part. You can dismiss and say, no, they're all lying. Okay. What was the answer to a person who was a disciple right here, outside of the church? How do they answer to that? Derek Reality Show with the daily Christian commentary videos. I'm bringing this up so that for all these people that say there's nothing there, there's nothing, no problem. How did you answer to this? What was this about? There was no BBC here. When she recorded this video, it was just her. This video, God knows when this was recorded. Never came out. This confrontation never came out. She recorded that as proof because she thought, hey, anything can happen. How did they answer to that? There's no pictures. There's no, the phones were confiscated. So you expect them to have what pictures? Except the ones that the church is capturing. How do you answer to that? What was this about? At least tell us what this was about. Tell us, give us an explanation for what that was about. You can when a person just dismisses everything, hey, put themselves underwater, man. They point out one person, but that person, but there's the other one. Answer the other ones. Like you can answer what? Answer everything. When you enter an exam room, if you choose not to answer one, you automatically fail it. So, no, it's all fabricated. Which one? She was in front of the church. She stood right there and accused the leadership. So don't tell us, we are not all like you. Our brains are not all cooked. If your brains are cooked, not be so for me. These are the two things that SCOAN doesn't have answers for. Even if they're out here claiming there's no evidence, nothing. Okay, fine, there's no evidence. But then there is this. There is these accusations. There is these accusations that were made without BBC paying anyone. Not yesterday. This is old. What was your answer then about this lady's statement? Right there. Structured show with the Daily Christian Commentary video. This video is just a bonus, because so that we can remind people, you remember, then they enter into the thing, then they manage to escape and took off into safety. So they will have to tell us, shoot their tires, hey, charlatans are everywhere. This is a thorn in SCOAN's history. The thorn in SCOAN's history. They will have to explain that one. You can't explain one. Explain this one as well. What was that confrontation in front of the church all about? What was that? When there was no BBC, what was that confrontation about? It's Ricky, we're done.